Today, we're diving into a disturbing chapter of history, the radicalization of an entire society under Hitler's regime. From the early 1930s, Germany became a case study in how dangerous ideologies can take root, spread, and lead to unimaginable consequences. Let's unpack the strategies, societal changes, and psychological tactics that Hitler used to draw the German people deeper into radical. Following World War I, Germany was in crisis. The Treaty of Versailles devastated its economy and national pride. Unemployment and inflation soared, creating widespread frustration and resentment. In this desperate climate, the Nazi Party emerged, promising to restore Germany's power, prosperity, and prestige. Hitler offered a vision of a new, powerful Germany, appealing to a public that felt humiliated and abandoned by the world. This environment of hardship and anger was fertile ground for radicalization. The Nazi regime understood the power of propaganda better than anyone. Hitler appointed Joseph Goebbels as Minister of Propaganda, who unleashed an intense media campaign to shape public perception. Through film, radio, posters, and rallies, the Nazis painted an idealized picture of a strong, united Germany under Hitler. By controlling newspapers, books, and the arts, they restricted any dissenting voices and bombarded people with a single narrative. This constant messaging transformed public attitudes, making Nazi ideals seem like Germany's only way forward. One of the Nazis' most effective tools was reshaping the minds of the young. Education was transformed to teach Nazi values, focusing on racial purity, loyalty, and militarism. School books were rewritten, and the Hitler Youth Movement trained boys and girls to be loyal to the state from a young age. This ensured that even the next generation saw Nazi ideology not as a choice, but as a fact of life. For many young Germans, loyalty to Hitler became inseparable from their identity. A key tactic of radicalization was creating a common enemy. The Nazis blamed Jews, communists, and other minority groups for Germany's troubles, using anti-Semitic propaganda to ignite hatred and fear. By framing these groups as threats to national purity and security, the regime united the public against a scapegoat. This technique wasn't just psychological, it enabled the Nazi regime to justify increasingly severe actions against those they targeted, radicalizing the population's views on persecution and exclusion. Hitler was elevated to a near-mythical status, presented as Germany's savior. His speeches, broadcast widely, were intense and emotionally charged, making people believe he alone could restore Germany's greatness. This cult of personality made it difficult for the public to question his decisions. By creating an emotional connection to Hitler, the regime ensured personal loyalty to him, leading many to support policies they may otherwise have rejected. While propaganda attracted support, fear ensured obedience. The Nazi state had no tolerance for dissent. The Gestapo, or secret police, were infamous for monitoring and silencing critics. People knew that questioning the regime could lead to imprisonment, or worse. This atmosphere of fear made even those who disagreed with Nazi policies too afraid to speak out, allowing extremism to spread unchecked. In effect, fear became an instrument of radicalization, ensuring compliance through intimidation. Finally, with the start of World War II, radicalization intensified. Hitler's vision of a racially pure empire drove aggressive expansion and genocidal policies, and the public was brought along, often willingly, under the guise of patriotism. The atrocities that followed, especially the Holocaust, were products of years of indoctrination and propaganda, creating a sense that this violence was not only justified, but necessary. By then, radical ideology had permeated every aspect of German life. Hitler's radicalization of the German people was a stark reminder of how fear, propaganda, and ideology can transform an entire society. It's a lesson in the power of media, the dangers of unchecked authority, and the vulnerability of nations in crisis. As we reflect on this, let's remember how critical it is to question, to think independently, and to remain vigilant against any ideology that divides us from our shared humanity. Thanks for watching. If you found this deep dive into history thought-provoking, make sure to like, subscribe, and join us next time for more insights into the past's mysteries and lessons.